Hello, my name's Oscar. I'm a videographer from England, and if this is the first video you're seeing of mine, then this may not make a lot of sense, this video, but go back one to, there's only two videos on the channel at the moment, so it's not hard to find, but yeah, go back to that first video I posted and you'll see kind of the filming process of this, and effectively, this is kind of like a part two to that video, because there was a few comments of people saying they wanted to see kind of the end video and the end kind of product. So that's what we're doing today. As you can see, we're in Premiere Pro. But yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to play it all through for you. And then we can kind of go through and I'll show you just a few kind of nitpicky bits that you might be interested in. Right, so there you go. That is the finished video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you think it lived up to the hype. So yeah, I thought I'll break it down for you now, and we'll kind of flick through it, and I'll give you a couple of little kind of, I don't know, a few little bits that I kind of maybe did, or just the way that I kind of approached it, I guess. So first off, obviously we've got the logo coming up onto the screen, which is how I tend to start most kind of videos off. I think it's just a nice little start. That's pretty basic. And we've just got like a kind of bouncy sort of transition, just because it's quite a family kind of event. So it just kind of makes sense to have that sort of vibe going on, I guess. Yeah, then into the first shot, with I think the main rule of editing in general is just to kind of try and tell a story. So my approach to that in this example is kind of going from the very beginning, which is this tunnel, and this is kind of at the very front entrance of the place. So the first thing you kind of go into is this tunnel, and then this leads into the museum, which we'll get onto next. So these people, if you saw my kind of behind the scenes filming process video, then you'll know that I spoke to a lot of people and kind of asked them to, do certain things for me, and essentially act natural, and let me film them, walking around or doing whatever they were doing. And this is an example of that. And I asked these people to kind of look around as they're coming down this tunnel. So you'll notice that a couple of mainly the adults, because kids don't really tend to take advice or kind of take direction as well necessarily, which is fine. But yeah, the adults are kind of looking around at the sort of the bunting and the kind of the carrots and the kind of Easter decorations that are in this little tunnel, which is good because it kind of highlights those. And then yeah, into the kind of museum roundhouse, they call it, which is where they've got loads of kind of really cool kind of old railway sort of artifacts and steam trains and carriages and all sorts of kind of stuff like that. So yeah, this is a very quick kind of overview of that. Like I say, it's kind of chronological, so we're going through into this building next, which is how you kind of go if you were coming into the place for the first time, or just any time, I guess. Yeah, this is there's a few kind of bits that they've done to kind of spruce it up. One being these kind of Easter paw prints from the Easter Bunny, which were around. So yeah, obviously showed some of them, and a nice little kind of transition between, which is just a very basic kind of it's a prism rainbow light something. There you go. So that's that. And it just kind of adds a bit of sort of flair to it, and I also kind of speed ramped it, as you can see, which I think works quite well. Another shot of just happy families walking around on the gimbal. This is the old name of the place, so Statfold Barn Railway is kind of the railway, and then the country park is kind of a separate thing. So this is just to kind of nod to that, and I think it's just nice. It's just a nice shot. Again, this is on the gimbal. It's me kind of doing this this kind of action, that looks really bad. But yeah, basically I just kind of held it up and just sort of went up as if it was kind of like a jib shot, which I think works quite well. And we also added just a little tiny post zoom, as you can see here, just to kind of, I don't know, add something else to it. And then we've got some more families. This is just in front of the, this is the next kind of area that you walk into. This is, yeah, just some happy people, basically. That's all there is to it. Again, it's all slow-mo, a lot of this, on the gimbal, because I think it just kind of, I don't know, you know, there could be arguments to say it's not necessarily cinematic and it is kind of overused, but I quite like the look of it. I think it works well for these videos, so that's kind of how I justify it. Yeah, and then another little light thing into the kind of main hit of the music, just to kind of accent the kind of energy or the chorus hit. I think it works quite nice, so here you go. There you go, and we've got two girls kind of coming down the a bouncy castle slide here. This is actually on the gimbal. It looks sort of like a tripod shot, but all I did was just put the gimbal on the floor, and I waited at the top, and I waited probably way too long for them to come down because they were milling around up there for a little bit. And then eventually they decided to both come down, and it kind of took me a second to catch up with them. So essentially it's just me using the little kind of little dial on the gimbal to follow them as they come down and kind of tilt with them, if that makes sense. So yeah, that worked quite well. You'll notice I kind of cut it quite short because I lost the kind of tracking, but the bit that I did include, I think tracks them pretty well. So there you go, as you can see. A little establisher of the kind of bouncy castles, the other bouncy castles inside. Then the bar, another kind of Easter bit of decor. Yeah, just to demonstrate that there's stuff for kind of kids and adults. You know, the bar for the adults maybe. You know, unless you don't drink, in which case there is, you know, soft drinks and coffee and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I'm upselling from here. And then yeah, we go outside from this part into the kind of station platform. Here's the train coming into the station. Very nice. I'm not a massive fan in retrospect of this shot, just because I think whenever I kind of film from this angle at this place, the sky's always quite blown out. In this, you know, the foreground's kind of quite shadowed because of these big sort of bushes and trees you see on the side. I did shoot everything in log, so it kind of, you know, I was able to balance it a bit. But yeah, I'm still a little bit annoyed by the kind of the highlights in these clouds, but it's really quite minimal for anyone that doesn't know. So yeah. Then onto this. This is a lovely train employee. I'm not sure what the official title is. Steam train driver maybe. Looking very happy on the kind of the train, I guess. And she's doing a wonderful job. And then on some people, this is probably one of my favorite shots. I really like the kind of contrast between the shadows and the highlights. I appreciate it is a little bit blown out, but that's just purely me trying to balance the kind of the difference between the two extremes, I guess. And but I do think it looks really nice. I really like the kind of the composure of this shot. I think the fact that they've got the sign here is also quite nice. And yeah, I just think it's quite a nice kind of, yeah, setup. That's it. And then we're onto the next part, which is kind of back into the kind of courtyard area. And they've got loads of sort of fairground rides and kind of little kids, you know, rides and stuff. So this is a little sort of merry-go-round, chair swing, whatever you call it. And I've just sort of speed ramped it, so you get a couple of different views of people having fun on there and having a good time. And yeah, looks great. On to the next bit. This is just kind of a little reveal establisher behind a kind of pillar. And they've got these kind of cranes in this sandpit, and lots of people having fun in there. Then a close-up of that. This is just a kid who I asked if he was up for being filmed, and he said he was, and he did a spectacular job of digging in the sand. So yeah, quite a cool kind of badass sort of shot of that going on there. Another little kind of establisher, wider shot of the sort of shop. This is the courtyard area again. So still in the courtyard, still kind of following the sort of layout of the place. Then onto the land train, which is the next part. There's a land train. This is one of the drone shots I was getting in that last video. So you will have kind of seen me filming this in real time, if that makes sense. This is a land train. It's a tractor with some like carriages on. So yeah, this is just people having fun on there, as you can see. And then this is the tractor arriving at the kind of drop-off point, which is this place, which is the Mees Valley Trail, sorry, they call it. Yeah, too much rail talk. So yeah, this is kind of a nice, I thought it was quite an artsy sort of shot. It's inside one of the carriages, looking through kind of one of the windows of the sign as you kind of pull up to it, which is quite nice. It's also handheld, so it adds a little bit of kind of a different look, which is nice. Then we've got some people enjoying a walk through this trail, as you can see. I quite like how the sun is coming through the trees and kind of backlighting a lot of this. I just think the colours are quite sort of nice. Yeah, I just think it works quite well. So yeah, this is the trail. We got a bit of flaring through the sort of the tree there as well, which is really nice. Bit more egg trail stuff. Some people, here you go, enjoying their time. I think I might have included this clip in the last video. I might not have done. I'm not too sure. But yeah, these guys did a wonderful job of looking at a piece of paper. So there you go. That is, by the way, that's the Easter egg kind of trail map. So it's not just a, you know, zero context kind of weird newspaper they're looking at. Some more stuff happening, and then this is kind of a wide, as well as the tractor dropping off at this place. This little train also comes, a different train to the other one. So yeah, I got this as well. This is quite a nice shot of it coming into the station area. People getting on, happy people again, and then this is a sort of drone shot, which kind of I was trying to again replicate a jib shot, which yeah worked quite nice. So it's just sort of showing it leaving, and I kind of speed ramped it from quite quick to sort of slow as it drives off. And you can hear I've kind of also throughout this added some light sort of sound design of kind of you know, trains and kind of people having a good time, whatever, just to kind of add some more atmosphere and add some more kind of authenticity to the whole thing, because it kind of sounds a little bit flat with just sort of music and nothing else. So there you go, that's that. Then this is that same train coming into its sort of station where people get on or get off. So this is the sort of, yeah, this is kind of a nice sort of drone shot showing the sign of the light railway, and they're quite keen to include that. So that's why I got that. And then it pushes into the train actually coming into the kind of station bit. Okay, then onto the next bit, which is as you get off there, you come into this bit. So again, we're still kind of following the sort of layout. So still sort of telling that story or trying to. And yeah, this is where they've got like a sort of a family sort of pantomime happening. So this is kind of people going into that place. And then here's one of the characters. Lovely bunch. I work with these guys a fair bit, and yeah, they're a really nice bunch. And then they had some stuff going on here as well. So yeah, this is a couple of the actors in action or characters. And then from there, I kind of, I wouldn't say match cut because it's not really a match cut, but I feel like it's, you know, it's somewhat there, where, you know, in like, for example, this is basically what I tried to do. So, or maybe I didn't actually. Oh no, I did. Sorry, this one. So, yeah, with this shot, I did just a post pull out zoom into this kind of actual me pulling out with the gimbal of the kid on the kind of playground train. So you can see, I'll play this in real time for you. So there you go. It kind of match cuts a little bit. I think it's a match cut. I don't know if you could class that as one, but I feel like, you know, there's argument for it. So there you go. Essentially, a match cut is just kind of matching the movement between two shots, so kind of seamlessly kind of transitions, which I think it does. So that's good. Yeah, some more stuff of kids on the play area. And then this is the main kind of entrance. So going back into the building from the pantomime, which is on the kind of outside area. And then we've got, yeah, just kind of, this is just some wrap up shots now. So going back in and just kind of back into the kind of indoor area where they've got a lot of the kind of bouncy castles and stuff. This is some of the kind of shots of people having pictures with the Easter Bunny, which they wanted to include for obvious reasons with it being Easter. So there you go, which looks quite nice. You know, happy people taking photos. You know, people love to take photos when they're happy, so that's why it's in there. Then this is the soft play area, which I actually didn't film over this weekend. I filmed this previously, but they wanted to include this in the video, so I was able to kind of pull some of that footage that I've used previously, because a lot of the stuff I do film, I kind of tend to keep for a little while on file, just in case they do decide to pick it up for anything. So yeah, that's what we've got this. The climbing wall, which is also in this area, also filmed previously. And then, yeah, the last shot is kind of people leaving into, yeah, this kind of end sort of card, which is just the logo. It's just a basic sort of transition. And then we've got like a crop with a kind of, let me see. Here you go. You can see here. So I've got a crop with a with a kind of feather, and it just sort of comes across in a minute. There we go. There you go. And as that comes across, the logo sort of pops in and does a little bounce just for a little bit of character. And then I've just sort of turned down the opacity of this slightly just so you can see some stuff in the background, which is, again, just the land train kind of driving off into the distance, which seemed quite fitting. So there you go. That is basically it. That's the whole kind of video. That's the sort of breakdown, which, yeah, I think turned out really well. Like I say, I think it ticks every box that they wanted in terms of the content. I think all the footage is really, really nice looking. Color wise, all I really did on a lot of this was just adjust this slightly, and added an S log to 709 LUT, just for a basic kind of LUT. And it does. I don't think it needs anything more. I think it works as it is, and I think it just feels sort of a little bit more authentic to not chuck a load of kind of filmic sort of LUTs and make it really sort of overproduced essentially. So I quite like kind of how this sort of looks. And yeah, I shot in log essentially. I usually shoot in log, but for the main reason in this instance that I wanted to keep a little bit of the detail because it's such a sunny day. So I wanted to keep some detail, in the highlights and shadows, and yeah, it worked. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's really good. These are a couple of the sort of testimonials, and I'll quickly show you these just so you kind of get an idea as to how that sort of mic setup sounded.
We've had a lovely family day out.
You'll notice it's kind of similar in the way of kind of how I branded it. So the music underneath is an instrumental version of the one I used in the main longer video, which I think just kind of adds a bit of continuity between the two, and works quite well.
I enjoyed the pantomime. It was great for all the children and a good laugh for the adults.
Really, really good value.
Yeah, there you go. And I've just kind of overlaid, shots or visuals to kind of correlate with what these people are saying as well, which adds just a bit of kind of context, I guess, and some sort of visual interest, I guess.
Diverse age group, and there's history, and there's things for kids, and there's lots of things to eat and play, and the weather's been quite nice. It's been a lovely day.
Great day out for all the family. The pantomime was absolutely superb, and lots of fun in the soft play area.
It's been an amazing day, and we'll definitely be back.
Yeah, so there you go. And I added captions as well to these just because when they are posted on social media, I think captions work quite well, because it means that you don't have to listen necessarily to it. You can kind of pick up bits of what people are saying just from, watching it. So I just think it adds a bit, and it kind of makes it a little bit more sort of versatile in that regard. But yeah, I mean, otherwise that's kind of it. One thing I will say is, if you did see on that video, if you saw the camera monitor at any point, then you'll notice that I had a sort of grid line on there, just as a kind of a guide for this video, because they let me know they wanted this in advance. So it meant that I could kind of frame up some shots so that they would work, better in a 9:16 ratio, or kind of, just work, because, when you're filming a lot of shots in the standard, like this, for example, it's not necessarily easy to pick out a focus point for the kind of center or the different aspect ratio. So but that was for the main kind of reason of doing these testimonials, just so I could kind of so I could frame them up properly, which worked out, like I say, quite well. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. You'll notice a couple of the shots that I filmed in that behind the scenes video didn't quite make it, for no reason other than there was some better stuff in there. So that's I chose to use that instead. So yeah, man, that's kind of it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see some more kind of behind the scenes sort of breakdowns or anything like that, then I'll bring some more stuff your way very soon. Got a couple more shoots coming up soon as well, so I'll definitely take you behind the scenes on some of them. We've got a cool FPV drone shoot coming up, so I will, like I say, I'll take you along and kind of show you how we do that. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.